Hello everyone and welcome back my dear students to the offline video series of Geography of class 6. We are going to start with a new lesson number 2 of Geography, that is, let us use the Graticule. So students, in our previous lesson number 1, we have studied about the introduction of Graticule. What do you mean by Graticule? What do you mean by latitudes, longitudes, and what do you mean by parallels of latitudes and meridians of longitudes? So here in this lesson we are going to study about how to use that Graticule to find out the location of any place. So before we start with this lesson, we have to revise some of the important points which we have studied in lesson number 1, because that terms we will need in this lesson while finding out the location of place. First of all, we will start with the definition of equator. Equator is a central imaginary line on the globe which divides the earth into two equal parts. Now the upper part of equator is called as northern hemisphere, while the lower part is called as southern hemisphere. At the end of each parts there are points. These points are considered as poles. So the point towards the northern hemisphere is known as North Pole, while the end point towards the southern hemisphere is called as South Pole. The next definition is of latitudes and longitudes. So the horizontal and vertical lines on the surface of the globe are known as latitudes and longitudes. These lines are used for determining the location of any place, and the same concept we are going to study, that is how to find out the location of any place. So the next definition is parallels of latitude. All these horizontal lines from equator up to the North Pole and up to the South Pole in downward direction forms circles on the surface of the globe. Now all these circles are known as parallels of latitude. The distance of these parallels of latitude is 111 kilometers in two successive parallels of latitude. These parallels of latitudes increases by their angular distance as we go away from the equator, but their length reduces as we go away from the equator. That means the angular distance in degrees increases but the length decreases because of the spherical shape of the earth. The next term is meridians of longitude. Meridians of longitude are the vertical circles found on the surface of the globe. These also helps us to find out the location. Two main types of meridians are 0-degree meridian and 180-degree meridian. Both these meridians lie opposite of each other of the Earth's surface. Both of these meridians forms a circle which divides the earth vertically into two equal parts. Now both these parts of earth are called as eastern and western hemisphere. All these parallels of latitudes meet at one single point on the surface of the globe, that is North Pole and South Pole. At the equator, the distance between both these meridians is maximum, and at the polar region, the distance between two successive meridians is very less. The angular distance of all these meridians are also measured with the help of degrees. Here we have completed all the basic terms which we will need while studying this lesson. Now, before starting this lesson, I am going to show you the picture of world's map and some questions I am going to ask you. You have to answer that questions. And after that, we will proceed further with our next topic. This is the map of the world, and from this world map I will ask you few questions and you have to give the answers for that questions. So the first question is, what are the horizontal lines on the map known as? The horizontal lines on the map is known as latitudes or parallels. Second question, list the continents and oceans through which the equator passes. So the equator is found over here, and from here you can see South America, Africa are the continents which are passing, and Pacific Ocean is the ocean which passes through it. Third question, you have to encircle the intersection of 0° meridian and 0° parallel on the globe. So 0° meridian means 0° prime meridian and 0° parallel means equator. So here is the intersection of 0° meridian and 0° parallel on the map. The next question, which oceans are spread in all the 4 hemispheres? Now this question you will answer. The next question, which continents are spread in all the 4 hemispheres? So in this question you have to answer the name of continents. Last question, at which 2 parallels do all the meridian converge? So at North Pole and South Pole, all the meridians converge. The meaning of word converge is to meet. Here is the map of Brazil. Based on that map, there are some questions given in your textbook. So you have to try to give the answers of that questions based on that map. So here are the questions which are asked based on this map. So the first question is about the latitudinal and longitudinal location of the Brasilia, which is the capital of Brazil. So the latitudinal section of Brasilia will be from 10° to 20° south, while the longitudinal section of Brasilia will be from 40° to 50° west. Next question is, in which hemisphere does Brazil extend in north-south directions? Since it is asking about north-south directions, Brazil will extend in northern and southern hemisphere. Next question, in which hemisphere does Brazil extend in east-west directions? Since it is asking about east-west directions, Brazil will extend in eastern and western hemisphere. Next question, describe the location of Marazzo Island using the Graticule. So Marazzo Island is found over here. Its location is found near North Atlantic Ocean, and with the help of graticules it is found at 50° west longitude and at 0° equator. Let us study some information about some of the important circles found on the surface of the earth. So some of the important circles found on the surface of the earth are equator, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle, North Pole, South Pole, 0° prime meridian and 180° meridian. So let us study more about all these types of latitudes and longitudes. This is the picture of some important circles which are found on the surface of the earth. So here are equator, which is 0°. Next is Tropic of Cancer, whose angular distance is 23°, 30 minutes north. Next is Tropic of Capricorn, whose angular distance is 23°, 30 minutes south. Next is Arctic Circle, whose angular distance is 66°, 30 minutes north. Next is Antarctic Circle, whose angular distance is 66°, 30 minutes south. Next is North Pole, whose angular distance is 90 degree N. Next is South Pole, whose angular distance is 90 degree S. Based on these lines, temperature zones are decided. As you can see on the screen towards your left side are the different sections where sun rays are received. So the area where perpendicular sun rays falls is between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. The areas where slanting rays are received is between Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle, and the area where extremely slanting and very less amount of sun rays are received is between North Pole and South Pole. In between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, that is 23 degree and 30 minutes north and south of equator, receives completely perpendicular rays on 2 days in a year. Other areas on the earth never get perpendicular rays, and that is why these two parallels are known as Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn respectively. The next parallels 66 degree and 30 minutes north and south of the equator are also most important parallels. In this area, between these two parallels throughout the year, daytime lasts within the limit of 24 hours, and that is why these parallels are known as Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle in north and south part respectively. Depending on the seasons, daytime can be greater than 24 hours in the area between polar circles, that is at the polar regions in North Pole and South Pole. The maximum duration of sun's appearance in the sky can be of 6 months at the polar region based on the season. During this period, sun continues to move in the spiral or at the horizon.